Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast, episode 168. Larry here.
And Peach here.
And finally, we have Princess Peach apparently on the show. Or is it Princess Daisy?
I don't know.
What? Peach, not Peach, you were Toadstool, I mean. Originally you were Princess Toadstool. I guess Toadstool was your last name. Hey now, actually, I don't know if that's allowed, to be honest with you. We have to double check. Oh, it's Anthony. Okay. Again,
oh, hi. Sorry.
Fooled once again.
yeah, it was me all along.
Oh, you were not in another podcast.
No.
What's going on, Ann? How are you?
Well, it's been a tough week. Been a little bit of a rough week. Been
fair enough. You sound it.
Yeah, been a bit under the weather.
Okay.
Things aren't. Yeah, look, it's not always 85 and sunny here in Los Angeles. Sometimes it gets down to the low 60s, and we just have to deal with that stuff.
That's frost appearing on your car windows apparently.
Yeah, it happened once.
At 60-degree weather.
Yeah, but no, it's it is the flu season, and people are just passing stuff around all over the office and whatnot. So I just happen to either catch a cold or something. So I'm still working it out. But otherwise, outside of that, it's been an uneventful week. I spent a lot of time on my recliner.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope. And how about you?
Well, as you can see, I'm not home. So actually, I am home. Technically,
we just had a conversation about how you were home.
This is true. I am home actually again at my parents'. This is actually the basement that I'm in. It's Royal Rumble weekend, so this is more. Ant would understand this more than anyone else really listening.
Yes.
But this is actually, I guess, I'm not going to do a tour of the basement, but I've been saying for the longest time, and it's not a sob story. This is not a woe is me, never has been. But this room was filled almost to the ceiling, straight up there, with water during Hurricane Sandy. So finally, after 7 years, by the time this was all done, they finally got the basement back up and running. It's looking fantastic. Ant, you were here during the holidays, and you definitely remember how it used to be. And this weekend for the Royal Rumble, I'm doing very, very old school. A couple of our friends are coming over and in a new, with a new generation, their kids coming over. Nice. So we're going to do it old school, watch the Rumble down here in my parents' basement. I'm getting dominoes, whether they want to or not. I'm getting dominoes and we're doing it up good. So.
Oh man, it makes me wish I could be there. There was something, not only nostalgic but sacred about watching the pay-per-views down in the basement there.
It was, yeah. That's how we did it, and then the big WrestleMania parties. But that's going to be coming up pretty soon, which we'll talk about in the weeks to come.
Yes.
But so that's why I'm here, and I'm on my phone. I'm on Skype, so that's why I look a little different, but the episode is going to roll on as it does.
Yes, it is. So we all. It doesn't matter where we are. We always tend to push these things out. If I can call in from Japan, we can basically call in from anywhere.
And I can, if I'm in Brooklyn at WrestleMania Access, at least I'm on for a couple of minutes. But then
Brooklyn, Japan, kind of the same thing.
Almost. It's 2020. We're almost a month into 2020.
Yes, we are.
And thankfully, Josh from Victims and Villains has not essentially made me know that for the calendar year I'm going to be out a lot of money because of some stupid contest that he sets up for us without our permission and without talking about it to us. So I don't even know why we ever listened to him.
That's true. And I don't know what it is. There's something about Josh who he just seems to have some type of control over our show, even though
it's not cool.
Yeah, it's not cool, but it works. It manages to work.
Somehow it does. And I'm the one who should have called him out on everything since I'm the one that kept losing.
Yeah, it's very true. Now you are 0 for 2.
Yeah.
And for said 0 for 2, I have benefited greatly. One for the wonderful Super Mario RPG and Legend of the Seven Stars, which is great. I won that for 2019, and then of course winning the oh my god, my brain's melted too. The Virtual Boy, winning the Virtual Boy and destroying it on film for you.
You did.
It was fantastic.
Literally,
unfortunately. Yeah, so unfortunately, we are a month into the year, and Josh has not been on the show, so we don't have a 2020 contest.
Oh well.
All
right, so I guess we'll move on then to our next.
No. I said we don't have a 20. You didn't let me finish. We don't have a 2020 contest until now.
Oh, it was a dot. I thought
yeah,
it was a period.
There was an ellipsis there, but you talked over me, so I didn't.
God bless you.
Yes. Thank you. So,
what do we got?
It wouldn't be a year if we don't have a contest.
No,
and these are friendly contests, Larry.
Of course, okay. Sure.
It's all fun and games until the Virtual Boy gets cut in half.
Oh my god, forget about it.
So this year we've come up with a really interesting contest, and I actually think it's a good one too because it's going to benefit both of us. And it's a great challenge for both of us to take on as well.
Okay.
So for this year, Larry, our challenge is going to be conquering retro games we've never beaten.
Ooh.
So, there's a little bit of the honor system on this, meaning that no beating games that you've already beaten, like Super Mario Brothers, or for me, like Legend of Zelda, or so on and so forth.
Kung Fu. I can't count Kung Fu.
Well, you know what? Kung Fu did happen this year, so I think we can count that. So
okay,
let's count that one. But I think what we can do is again, I trust you. I trust you to tell me which games you have and have not beaten because the list is short.
Scouts honor.
And I'm sure you can trust me when I say which games I've beaten and have not, which are far more than yours. But I
feel like I trust you as far as I can throw you.
Well, I am getting lighter. So there's hope there.
Sweet.
So anyway, no, I just think we do the similar bet as we did last year. End of the year, we're going to keep a tally of how many games we've beaten. I would prefer, now this may be the difficult part for both of us, but if it's possible for us to capture said games on video and posting them on Facebook for our fans,
we'll try.
Listeners to view, or at least screen grab, or not screen grab, but just take photos of take photos of the ending to prove that you beat it, and then we'll keep a running score, and we'll post it every so often, maybe once a month, maybe every couple of weeks, depending on how often we're beating games. And at the end of the year, loser buys the winner $100. What do you think?
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Yeah.
And that will be our 2020 challenge.
I accept those terms. Yes. I will see you on the dueling ground. And I'm assuming I'm already one up on you then.
Yeah, you are actually in the lead. You're already up. You've got Kung Fu, and I don't, because I've beaten that game 10,000 times.
Whatever.
But also, and just to clarify, because it's retro gaming, we're gonna stop the contest at the Wii, because we've yet to accept.
Oh, okay.
We've yet to accept PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 into the realm of retro gaming.
Agreed.
Although I have to say we're kind of getting close.
We're getting there.
We're definitely.
Yeah,
we're definitely getting there. So anything from, or maybe it's better to do a year. I don't know, because the Wii kind of expanded for a long time. Like we've usually cut off somewhere around 2006, and that's when the Wii came out. So, so let's say Wii or before.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Okay.
I accept those terms.
Yeah, and just so you know,
I am prepared.
Like certain games, like sports games and stuff, you can't play like a baseball game and say, "Look, I beat the game." You know what I mean? You can't.
Well, I mean, if you go through an entire season.
Yeah, if you want to go through a full 180 something season and then win the World Series, sure.
I think, to be fair, I think if you're going to do a sports game, because you can beat a sports game, but you got to do like a season mode. Hockey season mode, basketball season mode, anything like that. Yes.
Yeah, it has to be season, and you have to win.
Of course,
the Stanley Cup, the Super Bowl. It is. So if you want to go that route, you can, but you got to prove that you did a season.
Of course.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I think that's pretty much what the rules are. I'll come up with more as we go along, just to make it.
What? That allowed? What? Okay.
What? I don't know what just happened. I don't know.
Any games beaten on the Polymega don't count. What?
What? No. I think we're both in agreement here. We're going to be playing the hell out of that Polymega when it comes to.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
I've got a library just waiting.
I know, right? The games I bought just for it. Like I said, I moved on to like CD-based games now. So some of which I can't wait to beat.
Yeah, really quickly also, like no strategy guides, none of that stuff. We want it to be just straight.
Hold on. Let's say this. Let's do this. If it's an official physical strategy guide that you buy, like old school, I think that you could use. You can't use the internet.
Do I have one?
I'm assuming you got one.
Oh, I have one. Aha. I've never gotten rid of my
Final
strategy guide.
Something like that. That looks like a Dungeon Master's book.
Well, it's Final Fantasy VII.
Lord, I know. That's what I'm saying. I wonder if you can use that on the new one too.
Well, no. I mean, I heard they kind of remade it.
Yeah, they're doing it big time. So let's say if you can find, like you at Game Dude or me at Game On, if you can find a strategy guide, an official strategy guide, I think that's fair. But no internet, no Googling.
I will accept those terms.
Fair enough. All right.
All right, cool. So we have our contest.
All right, cool.
And it also segues us into the topic we were going to discuss today.
Yes.
Which is perfect because Larry and I think recently we've been talking about, ever since he beat Kung Fu, like all the retro games that, we've either owned or wanted to own that we've never beaten. So
yeah. Holy cow.
So Larry and I, I think we should just go back and forth and see like the first game that comes to mind where you're like, I wish I had beaten that game. Which one? What comes to mind first?
Ooh. I mean, off the top of my head, it would be like the Mega Man series. I don't think I've officially, honestly, without codes, I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've ever went straight through a Mega Man game. Any of them.
Wow.
I don't think so. Remember, so let's put this in perspective. So, and I don't know, I think you may have been a little different, I think, when we spoke about this before. So with me growing up, it may be the only form of ADD I have. Growing up, I'd get a game for Christmas or my birthday. I'd play it. Of course, I never beat it. I'm notorious for not beating any games when I was little. I've been beaten a lot lately, so you're in trouble. But I never really beat anything when I was young. But the thing is, when I got a new game, I'd move on, and the other one would go to the wayside. Don't mind me; I may keep adjusting my phone here. So then, I wouldn't really go back to it. But if I did, like for a Mega Man, I'm sure from Nintendo Power, I put codes in to get to Wily's Castle and stuff like that. So, but to say I've actually sat down and played straight through, I can't remember ever doing that. So. And I've always kind of wanted to do. I've tried, especially that's a lie. The only one not this year, but the only one I've sat down and played through, not in one sitting, but did with saves, was Mega Man on Game Boy, the first one.
Oh, okay.
So so that just goes, and that was just a couple of years ago. So that's not big. So yeah, for me, it would be the Mega Man series.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well,
let's see. I mean, if I'm going right off the top of my head, I got to think about Zelda games I haven't beaten, and I know we've talked about a bunch of the handheld ones, which I've never played. Which also brings me to think about Link's Awakening for Switch, if that would count, because I'm kind of halfway through it. It's a remaster, but
remake.
It's a remake, so it's a lift.
Remaster, remake.
It's a lift of the other judges.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, it's very Hollywood chic compared to the original. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd rather you beat the original on Game Boy, even Link's Awakening DX, which is fine. But I added the color.
Yeah, but anyway, like the point being, like either some of the handheld Zeldas, or even like I never played through Twilight Princess, and I never played through Skyward Sword, which were the two major.
Those are on the way. The
two major console ones that I've missed. So I would probably want to. I definitely like that. Those would be like at the top of my list in terms of this contest. I don't know if I'd tackle those right away because they're meatier games and they would take more time.
True, they definitely would. Do you see yourself going more for, if we didn't go up to the Wii, which will include the Xbox, will include the PS1 and PS2. Yes. Oh, absolutely. PS2. Like, do you see yourself trying to go for those, we'll call on the other end of the spectrum as far as the newer games, like these meteor games, as you call them? Because in my head, I'm going to be focused on classics like NES, Genesis. You want to talk about something? The only games, again, that immediately come to my mind that I've beaten was Shining Force 1 and 2. I know for a fact I've never beaten a Sonic game. So,
really?
Again, I just, when I play, like I said, when I play, I was just playing for the sake of playing. I never really, I don't sit there and read the stories. I'm not playing for the story. That's just me. I mean, I'm starting to change now. Yeah. But yeah, I've never beaten a Sonic game.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, I've beaten the first 2 Sonic games, I believe. Okay. I don't even remember if I bought Sonic 3.
Actually, the only Sonic game I think I've beaten was Adventure.
Oh, for Dreamcast.
Yeah. I may have beaten Sonic Adventure 2. But...
I never played Sonic Adventure 2.
Really? Oh, 2. Yeah. I was going to say. I was
2. No, the first one I played through and I beat.
2's fun. 2's a good one.
Yeah. In fact, I think Sonic Adventure 1 was the first game when I got into the full completionist mode, because I think it was one of the first games I played where they actually had percentages for each character.
Oh, they did, yeah.
To get through the full story. And that was the first time I ever said, oh, well, I got to get 100% on everything.
Oh, how was it playing with Big the Cat?
You know, his story wasn't that long anyway. So
yeah, they were. That and the robot were short. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Sonic Adventure 2 would definitely be one for me to look at. Okay. One of the other ones that definitely pops to mind, and I think I just bought it or it was free on PlayStation 4. But the Crash Bandicoot trilogy.
Oh, I hope it wasn't free recently because I just downloaded it.
I don't think it was free. Okay. I probably paid for it, but I've never played a Crash Bandicoot game.
Neither have I. I just because I bought the remake, the Insanity trilogy, and I think I knew why, because I hate how Crash Bandicoot plays. I hate that forward moving aspect of it. It confuses the heck out of me. What happened?
I'm under attack.
There
have been a lot of helicopters flying over the last couple of days.
That can't be good.
No.
If I see someone walk through your apartment, I'll let you know.
That's okay. Yeah, I'll just be like, hey, bud, what's up?
We have a guest.
Yeah, we have a guest, and he's in army fatigues.
He lives on the corner down the block.
Yeah, it's all good. But the Crash games I've always wanted to play, and I just haven't gotten around to.
Agreed.
What
see
about
that?
Where do you
go? Dang it! See, it's funny. We talk about this, and now we have to sit down and figure out if we'll count the remake of a game, like the Crash. Like if we play the Crash Bandicoot, facelift, exactly. Will that count as opposed to the original?
See that? Well, that's why I brought up Link's Awakening.
I know.
My argument is if the game itself hasn't changed. Like if it's just like graphic upgrade.
We'll figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be fine. However, I also think it would be cooler if we actually go back to the original console and play.
Of course. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely. So one that I definitely, and again, I know everyone gets sick of us talking about it, but I am promoting the heck out of it until we get either the beta or I finally get my delivered system. But as soon as I get that Polymega, I am popping in Shining Force 3. Not even CD. Nice. I'll hold off on CD, but Shining Force 3,
yes,
obviously the North American version, all in. That would probably be the first thing I play on the Polymega.
Okay, but why stop there? I think you should take up the real challenge and play the Japanese Shining Force 3 that I got you.
I mean, I could. I mean, the base play is going to be the same. I'm not going to know unless I have my phone up on Google Translate the whole time.
That'd be
I don't know if it translates live, but because that is 3 books, 3 chapters.
Very true.
But yeah, so Shining Force 3, I think is going to be the first game I'm going to try and complete once I get that system. So.
That makes sense. And Shining Force 3 is definitely high on my list as well as Shining Force CD, which I do not own yet.
That one I can't wait to try as well.
Yeah.
So what I mean, is there a genre of game that you would prefer to play? Like even in this contest, like do you see yourself going for like RPGs or platformers or you know what I mean? Or you just gonna try something brand new?
No, I think it's really going to be a mix of stuff, and it's going to be things I've really never conquered. Perfect example. I gush over Final Fantasy VII all the time, right? Love that game. Love the fact that, we're getting a remake of it or a remaster. Never played the original ones.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you beat 7.
No,
really? Never played the originals?
No. I've never played through 1 through 6.
Okay.
I've played 7. I've played most of 8, but never finished 8. And then I played a little bit of 9, and that's it.
Okay.
But it was one of those things too where I was like, oh, I should go back and play the original Final Fantasies, especially Final Fantasy. I want to say Final Fantasy 3, which is actually 6 from Japan. I think it was like 3 or 4, whichever one it was. It's supposed to be like the best one. I know the numbers are all messed up.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Let's not go through that.
I mean, I'm sure you could pick those up for cheap, like the because you know how they would come out on the PlayStation, like the double packs, and I'm sure I don't think they're expensive.
Oh no! I think I actually think I have them on the PlayStation. So
okay,
well, I have that, and I have the I want to say I have Tactics.
Tactics. I love Tactics. Oh,
which I've also never played. So.
Yeah, I played a little. I never got far in it, but it plays like Shining Force. So,
you know what? I want to play through, which I haven't. And this is going to be a completely out there weird one, but we both bought a copy of it when we saw what was on it. The Golden Nugget game with the mystery disc starring Adam West.
Yes, it's a whole mission. It's like a side. It's a
yeah.
You're right. It's like a mission.
It's an actual story mode. Like who else? Who else would put that on their list of games to beat?
That it's like wanting to play like Wall Street Kid or whatever. No, that's right. We gotta. I was gonna say, do you want to almost do like a point value, like as far as like obscurity versus difficulty? All right, fair enough.
Way too complicated. Let's just go with numbers. But other game like I'm just trying to think of other games that like I've really like. Conker's Bad Fur Day on Nintendo 64. I own that. I bought that right at the end of the N64 drive, but then PlayStation. But then I picked up Dreamcast and PS2, so I never really played it.
Okay.
And that game I've always wanted to play through. So
trying to. If I don't have it anymore, but I've beaten Bowser in Super Mario 64, but to this day I never got the final star.
Well, I'm the same way. I'm like 16 stars away from Yoshi or something like that.
Yeah, no, I had literally one left.
1 star.
And then things went haywire, but 1 star. So maybe that's one, because I know I have that on the Wii, on the Virtual Console.
Well, so and that's definitely worth looking into.
Yeah.
There was another one that popped in my. I've never ever played a traditional Pokemon game.
Ooh, neither have I really, and I downloaded one. I feel like
Stadium Puzzle League, like the Snap, yes,
but not the core game.
Nope.
Red, blue, yellow.
Never played any of those.
The way we're talking, I got my dad's bar right over here that's stocked. Never have I ever.
Never have I ever. Well, what's funny is like the more we talk about this, the more I'm like I'm questioning my retro status. I'm like, wait a minute, and I'm like, these are things I should definitely have under my belt. So you know what? Like I have my work cut out for me.
Retro. I hear what you're talking about, but again, this is maybe where we were a little different, or we are even now. Yeah, it's cool to beat a game. I just enjoy playing it. Whether or not I say that again.
Spoken like somebody who can't beat a game.
Well, this is true. But no, I'm just, maybe that's why. Maybe I just got tired of trying to beat games I never could. So really just, for me, boiled down to gameplay, which is why it's hard for me to play some of these newer games. So I'm just not into the gameplay. And again, I just can't get into the story. It's just how I am.
Yeah.
But no, don't question your retro status. It's definitely you've enjoyed all these games. You've played all of them. And who knows, when we go back and play some of these games. I think I've said it. I said it once before on the show. I don't remember how long ago, but like as I got older, I think I started beating games more often because I was able. I'm more. I can focus more. I was. What's the word I'm looking for? I wasn't rushing through it. I took my time. So it may be you may play these games, and it's going to be a world of difference compared to when we were in our adolescence and teens and everything like that.
No, very true. Very true. I think, well, the cool thing is, I think we're both up for the challenge, and I think it'll make for a very entertaining year, especially if we're capturing it and sharing it with all of our listeners and watchers.
And that's going to be a pain in the butt because I know how I am. I'm going to be playing, and all of a sudden I'll be like, pause. It'll be like a role-playing game that I can't pause. And I'll call my buddy Mario from downstairs. I'm like, get up here, bring your camera.
Yeah. just always have a camera set up. That's all.
Well, that's for another time. But I've always got to be at the realm, at the ready. Yes. You're right. It's funny. I am looking forward to this. I kind of just in my head, I'm just rolling through a lot of these games that I've gotten. Even have there been games that now that we have this contest, you've gotten so far into but never really got? Like for me, it was Jaws for the longest time. Always kind of got close to the end but never did it. Also Splatterhouse. Actually, it was during a live stream here that I was playing Splatterhouse, and for the first time, I'm pretty sure I got to the last level. So have there been games where you just got to the end but just never was able to complete it?
The only one that comes to mind is again Final Fantasy VIII. I got to the last disc, and literally the characters were having the conversation about going into the big last battle, and for some odd reason I'm like, I'm bored, and I never went back. And I was right at the end.
I've put in 18 hours. I'm good.
18, like 60. 60 hours into that. No, to be honest with you, like most of the games that I'm remembering in my brain, I've completed. Like I've made it through all of them. I never got to the end over and over again and never gotten past it.
Is the advantage in this contest for me because you said beating games for the first time, and you already have a lot of them,
There are thousands of games, Larry. So
did you say thousands that you've beaten?
No. Well, there are plenty I've beaten. I don't think thousands, but maybe. You know what? What'll be funny going through this is actually going through the list of games and like checking off. Oh no, wait, I beat this. Oh, I beat this. Oh, I beat this.
Luckily, that list for me is gonna be. I could probably rifle it off here right now. No, it's gonna be. There's a few more, but
you know what? That's gonna be a whole other thing I'm gonna do. With this, I'm just gonna point out here are all the games I've beaten.
Yeah, right.
But no. I think it'll be really fun. I think again, and it'll be cool to kind of compare.
Yes.
And actually do like a bit of a recap discussing what our experiences were like beating this game after how many years it's been out and stuff like that. So
are there any games right now that for this challenge you're ready to beat, but it's been so long? This is more of an RPG type question, but it's been so long you're gonna just have to erase the save and go back to start?
Oh yeah, I got a bunch of those.
Because the final one that kind of popped in my head that I've never beaten because I just never went back to it. And if we're counting the Wii, Super Paper Mario, which is a very, very underrated game on the Wii. I think it went way under the radar, but it was fantastic. But it's been, and again, I'm very far into the game, but I haven't played it in years, so I'm gonna have to erase the save and just start from scratch.
Yeah, no, and that's just gonna happen. I mean, I think Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is that one for me.
Oh wow, okay.
I got all the way to the end, and I was never able to beat whatever that thing was called.
Yeah.
Stars. That guy, and then he would run at you. Nemesis.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. And now we're getting a remake of that too. I don't think I ever beat Nemesis because I remember moving on to Code Veronica on the Dreamcast.
See,
and I played through Code Veronica all the way.
See, that was my problem. I moved on to a new game, and that was it. The rest of them just laid by the wayside. All right, I'm geared up for this. I'm looking forward to this, and I'm ready.
Yeah, so am I. In fact, I'm so ready. I'm gonna have to beat a game today just so we can be even starting this off.
If you even have one that already you start like before we started recording, did you just start like trying to rush through a game? And
I'm playing one right now on my second screen.
Actually, he's gonna hold up a Game Boy for the first time ever. I'm almost done with Super Mario.
Look. No, I have not done that. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this. This will be fun. And then for everybody who watches and listens to us, like let us know like what games have you always wanted to play and beat that you haven't, or how many have you tried and then you just walked away and you want to go back to them. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and you may actually give us some ideas for games to play through, which would be really cool.
I think so.
All right, Larry, it is time for this week's retro record.
Ooh,
I thought this would be a good one to go through because since we're talking about games that we want to go back and beat and games that we've beaten, I thought I would look up the fastest time a specific game has been completed, because I can guarantee you this. We're definitely not going to set any speedrunning records. No question about that.
Nope.
We may be able to break the slow run records. Not the speed records, so.
I think I'm in the process of doing that now.
I do it all the time. So this week's retro record is the fastest speed run through the original Super Mario Brothers on the NES.
All right, I believe I'm gonna take a whack guess at this. I'm like just shy over 5 minutes.
You're close. It's actually shy under 5 minutes.
Oh wow.
So player Somewes, Somewes, that is his screen name, has beaten Super Mario Brothers on the original NES, if I'm not mistaken. Or did he do it on? No, he did it on the computer. Of course he did. 4 minutes, 55 seconds, 796 milliseconds.
Oh, that is very precise. That is
very precise.
That's quick. All right. He has to be running through using warps. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm never doing that.
I'm wondering if it is warps. Hold on, let me see if it says that here.
I got to imagine.
As the record beating previous time of this record has stood for it doesn't say. So I would think it would be, but
I would imagine. Yeah.
I want to go back and watch the video to see if it was or not.
There's 8 worlds, 4 levels per world. Ain't no way you're doing less than a minute per level.
Yeah, 32. Yeah, especially because the endings. The endings, like the animation, like that wastes seconds. So we're gonna assume it's with warps, but still, 4 minutes, 55 seconds, 796 milliseconds, which is absurd. And that is this week's retro record. Well, here we are again. Well. All right. So, Larry, before we get into the news, because we have quite a few things that we wanted to cover, I wanted to share something that I got in terms of. Not necessarily a purchase, but I acquired it from a friend.
You stole it?
No, I did not. But this little Princess Peach, she's not alone. A friend of mine who used to work on Nintendo product always gives me stuff when he doesn't want it.
Oh yeah, you showed some really cool stuff back in the day.
Yeah, so he gave me this little Princess Peach, right?
Cool.
But she didn't come alone.
Would you stop turning her upside down?
Okay.
Stop. This is why the videos are purposely not made for kids on YouTube, and we had to select that option.
She's wearing underwear.
She is, yes. She's wearing socks.
Yes.
Or shoes or whatever.
But she did not come alone. So along with Princess Peach comes the Mushroom Castle.
Whoa, that thing is cool. Really? That is awesome.
So I got that. And then it also comes with this little pole for Mario to slide down.
Oh, no way. That is awesome. Does the castle open up or something, or just
No, unfortunately.
Okay.
Not.
All right.
No, it's just a display.
Fair enough.
But
that is
I think that
awesome.
The door's open, so you can put stuff.
Oh, so you can put somebody in there, that is fantastic. Like, in other words,
Peach, you've been naughty. Get in your castle.
So she's home. Okay.
Go home. You're grounded.
Go to your home. You know you're home.
Yeah, so that's a really cool thing.
That is very cool.
My friend for giving me.
Yes, very cool.
Yeah, but we wanted to get into some news, some retro, some current.
Yes.
So, Larry, what do you got?
Well, before we get into like news, one thing I want to mention real quick. So, a friend of mine, a friend of ours actually, Tim, fan of the show. We've known him for a long time. He listens to the podcast, and me and him for a while was playing Diablo 3 together.
Okay.
Big Diablo 3 fans. I kind of coaxed him into getting it on the Switch. And then I kind of stopped playing, but like he's been playing it on Switch on the PS4. Like I think he just got all the trophies on PS4 for it. So he tells me during one of the Nintendo sales that there's this game called Torchlight 2. It was like $13 at the time, and it plays just like Diablo 3. Like, all right, that sounds cool. $13, not bad. Another game for me not to play. So I figured I'd download it. Cool. And there was some free DLC. I'm like, oh, awesome. Just click, download everything together. So, all right. So I boot up the game for the first time. And then on the menu, it's like, it says menu. Then it's got like this, like what seems like elfish. What do you call it from Lord of the Rings? The
Elvish?
Elvish,
No.
So just words, symbols. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But it's the entire menu. So I'm like, what is going on here? Well, it turns out I've never read Polish before. And the DLC was a Polish language DLC, which made everything Polish. And I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I've never seen Polish written in my life. So I'm literally going, oh, this is like some like in-game language. And then when I looked into it, the DLC was the Polish language pack. Nice. Which also made me quickly learn it is, unless you look into it, Nintendo does not make it easy for you to delete DLC.
Oh, okay.
It took me about 3 days to figure it out.
Holy cow.
All right, when I say 3 days, I work, so the few minutes I had to look into it. Basically, what I did was I deleted the game, I re-downloaded it, it was all digital. I re-downloaded it, but immediately came up with the same Polish language. Then I finally looked online, and it turns out that to re-download the software without any DLC, you got to go to the eShop, you go to your profile, go to re-download, you hold the L button. While holding L, you re-download the game, and it only will download the software, no DLC.
Wait, that's ridiculous.
Nowhere on the screen does it say to do that. Wow. Nowhere in the options. You had to go into like the Nintendo help site and really go deep into it to find this.
Wow.
I thought I was going to have to buy a Rosetta Stone for a minute and learn Polish to play this game, but I finally got it. It's in English now, so now I know how to play it. Still haven't started it yet, but I will when I get home.
Of course.
Home.
Home.
So I thought that was very funny.
That's very strange.
Very odd. Oh, it drove me batty trying to find how to delete this DLC. And even for a minute, I was like, maybe Anthony's onto something with all this physical media. But then I was like, no, screw him. I want my digital downloads.
Yeah, no. Instead, let's spend 3 days re-downloading stuff. Sounds good.
Yeah, I downloaded it like 3 times.
Way better. Sure. But you just made me think of, before I forget, there's a cool little side-scrolling game currently on sale in the PlayStation Store on PS4. It's called Shiny. That's
Shiny.
Shiny. Shiny.
Okay, like tiny, but shiny.
Yeah, it's a cool little side-scrolling game.
Okay.
It is on sale for 27 cents.
I like a cheap bargain.
Yeah, and I've played the first few levels of it. It's actually pretty fun.
All right, I'm into those. Yeah. Is it like almost like a mobile game on the PS4?
No.
Okay, all right.
It's like a full-on side-scrolling game.
27 cents. I'll download anything. I'll download absolutely anything. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sounds good.
And I'm sure you have before, so.
There is. You can search by price on the Switch, and some of the stuff I got for dirt. I got a game for a dime one time. I forgot what it was. Yeah.
No! I bought that one too on the Switch. Membrane.
Yes. That's exactly it.
Yeah, it's 10 cents or 9 cents.
Maybe. Oh, yeah.
With tax, it was 10 cents.
Of course.
Oh, Nintendo!
Awesome.
You would think with everything you go through that they would get sued more often.
You think they have, and I think they did.
And speaking of,
there we go. Thank you.
Yep. So speaking of Nintendo getting sued, so according to a European court, because apparently Nintendo fans in Europe wanted to cancel digital pre-orders of games for whatever reason. Maybe the games are getting bad reviews. Maybe they changed their minds or something like that. But Nintendo wouldn't allow them. So, and it had gotten to the point where people actually decided to take Nintendo to court, saying if they don't want a game anymore, they shouldn't have to pay for it just because they pre-ordered it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nintendo went to court in Europe for it, and lo and behold, leave it to Nintendo to win this lawsuit.
They really are like Apple here, and they're like, they can't do anything. They really are Teflon.
Yeah, exactly. So, according to European courts now, if you pre-order a digital game from Nintendo, you cannot cancel it. It is yours, the end.
You see, that, when you download here in the US, there are warnings. It says non-refundable. I think maybe except for Wisconsin. I think is the only state you can refund, because it says unless noted by local law. Well, New York, they ain't doing that. So I would have figured that'd be all across the board. And to me, I think also, and I may be wrong on this, but if you pre-order a game, and this rule is for Xbox, it's for PlayStation, you pre-order a digital game, it's yours. Because also I think it downloads. Correct. Like it actually downloads, like pre-downloads the game. So you basically have the game on your hard, on the system. You just can't play it until the release date. So technically it's in your possession already.
Well, no, normally it won't let you download it until it becomes available.
On the Switch, what it does is it downloads the game already. So you have the whole, in other words, the idea is it saves you time. So that way, as soon as the release date's up, you play the game. You don't have to wait for it to download. So I think and I think PlayStation kind of does that too. But in any event, look, at least here in the US, it always said all sales are final. When you walk in knowing that, there you go. It's short of issues.
Right, and it's in their consumer rights directive, which requires that consumers must be able to cancel online purchases. That's EU. They're saying in Europe's consumer rights directive, you're allowed to cancel online purchases and receive refunds. However, Nintendo's policy is a no refund policy, and it's written in there, which, to your point, is also in place here in the US.
Yeah.
Sales of all digital purchases on Wii U, 3DS, Nintendo Switch are final. And just to note, Nintendo is the only console maker that doesn't let customers cancel a digital pre-order.
In Europe.
No.
Because I've digitally pre-ordered games on the PS4 and sales fine. It says you purchase this, all sales are final.
Well, I'm guessing if you went back to them and changed your mind, maybe they say all sales are final, so everybody doesn't do it. Perfect. I don't know about that. It all depends. Like perfect example would be like with the WWE 2K20 debacle from last year.
That's a different ball game. Yeah.
No. I understand that, but the game was bad.
Yeah.
Right. But people were able to cancel it even after their pre-order came through.
The game wasn't bad. The game was broke.
Yes.
That's a whole different ball game.
Right.
Than just being a bad game.
Right. But also in an era where it's like you can just download patches for it. It's not like it was going to stay broken for long. But still the fact that, Sony honored people's willingness to get a refund for it. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I think Nintendo to me is the one that like it's a hard and fast rule. In other words, it's like, no, we don't make no exemptions, none of that stuff. They're just very hard-nosed with it.
I mean, I guess the only digital refund I ever got was actually Google Stadia. When like day one, I bought Tomb Raider for $10, which was fine. Don't get me wrong. But then, it like weeks later, 2 weeks later, they announced it as the free. So they allowed the refund only on that game. So I don't know. My experience has always been all sales are final, and that's across all the systems. So we'll see. Is what it is, but we'll see. That may change down the road. You never know. So is what it is.
Yeah. So fun stuff there. Let's sticking to the Nintendo news, since we're already talking Nintendo, there were a couple of rumors that popped up this week that the Nintendo Switch will be getting a new Paper Mario and a new 2D Metroid game this year.
Ooh.
So,
I wonder if the 2D Metroid is in response to Metroid 4 taking forever to be. Well,
yeah,
they literally scrapped it and restarted it.
Well, the rumor is that it's not going to be Metroid Prime 4. It's going to be a separate 2D Metroid game. And again, none of these are set in stone, but there's just a rumor out there right now that there are these two games are coming this year.
Paper Mario is a popular series that's been going on since the N64, so I can see that happening on the Switch. People have been begging for a 2D Metroid, not counting the remake that was on the 3DS of the game Metroid 2. So, yeah, I think that's due. There's a game I've never beaten, Metroid.
Metroid's also on my list of games I've never beaten.
So, there we go.
Oh, wait. I think I beat the first one.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, the first one, I think I beat that one. I just remember it was always a struggle getting through those levels because it was kind of open world-ish. So I would always get lost. I would always get lost.
And that's, I was this close of beating Metroid Fusion when my memory card decided to crap out on me.
Oh, those silly memory cards.
Oh, God, I was so mad.
Okay.
Never went back.
Well, now you have a chance to.
This is true.
Or a reason to. Okay. More Nintendo news. Last bit of Nintendo news.
All right.
Share. And this is more in my expertise these days.
Oh, okay.
But Nintendo announced that we already heard about Super Nintendo World, the theme park attraction coming to Universal Studios in Osaka. Well, now it's been made official. I'm sorry, Osaka and Universal Studios Hollywood. But now it's been made official that Super Nintendo World will have a theme park land in Universal Studio Orlando's new park, which is being called Epic Universe. So Universal Studios is getting a third park in Orlando because they have Universal Studios Orlando, and then what's the other one? The adventure one? Not Epic. I just had it in my head.
You're not thinking of the one in Disney, are you?
No. Universal Studios has two parks: Islands of Adventure and regular Universal Studios in Orlando. There are two parks.
I didn't even know there was a second one in Orlando. Okay.
Yeah, the second park is the one with the Marvel Land in it. It's the one with Dr. Seuss.
I've been there. Actually, the last time I was there was when we were there all those years ago.
Okay.
So.
The one half of the original Harry Potter Hogsmeade area is in.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, so they already have two parks. They're adding a third park, which is going to be called Epic Universe, and now Nintendo has announced that one of the lands in the new park will be Super Nintendo World.
That's cool. That's a little easier for me.
Yes. Construction apparently is already underway, and I believe it will open in 2023. I believe.
All right.
I believe 2023. Osaka is opening this year.
Yeah. When's Hollywood opening?
I want to say it's next year, but I'm not sure.
Right, no,
I don't know if they put a date to it yet.
Gotcha. I wonder size-wise, which one's going to be bigger, Hollywood or Orlando?
I would probably say Orlando. I mean, Hollywood's always got the smaller footprint because of where their park is. It's like built on a hill.
Sure. Oh, yeah. I hate it.
Orlando's definitely got a lot more wide open land, and I'm assuming Osaka's going to have the largest footprint.
Probably.
So we're going to have to go to Japan.
I'm gearing up for Tokyo in a couple of years.
Yeah. So it's coming to Orlando, which will be great. There's been some news coming out of it. They just revealed at CES about the power-up bands that you get to wear, which makes you basically feel like you're in the game, like you're actually like the whole land is like a game to you, which is really cool. We don't have a whole lot more information about it, but there are little bits of news popping out here and there. But come 2023, it looks like you're going to be able to enjoy Super Nintendo World in Orlando.
Nothing more than a 43-year-old wants to do is run around Nintendo Land, and trust me, I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Well, let's face it, some 43-year-olds won't be able to run around.
This is very true.
So it'd be really
So accurate.
I feel what I feel badly for. I feel badly for the little kids who are going to want to play, and the giant adults shove them out of the way so they can use their power bands on things.
That may or may not be happening with me.
Yes. And I may or may not have to be there to record it. So.
Awesome.
Moving on.
What do we got?
So we all know the Final Fantasy VII game is being remastered, right?
So
Or at least the first part of it. Unfortunately, it was announced recently that it's been delayed a month, so it's now coming out in April instead of March.
All right.
Which isn't so bad.
Not the worst thing in the world.
Something else that is actually happening next month in February in Osaka and Tokyo.
Japan. What the heck? Always getting first.
It's Final Fantasy. It's Japanese game. So in Japan, they are opening Final Fantasy VII cafes to support the launch of the new game for April 10th.
They have cafes for everything. There.
And I've been to several.
I was going to say, like, some of the ones some of the ones I've seen online, there was a Namco cafe. I think there was a Sonic cafe. There's a Hello Kitty everything.
Well, here's what's funny about it. Both of these will be pop-up cafes that will be located at the Square Enix cafes, which means they already have cafes.
So they're just remodeling for a month. That's all.
Yeah.
Like Saved by the Max.
The new Square Enix Cafe Tokyo promises 50% more seats than the previous location.
I was worried about that. Nice. Okay.
And now when you go to these cafes, not only do they theme out the cafe itself, where you have they're gonna have giant poster or Cloud and Sephiroth and Aeris and all of that, but they theme the food too. So you're gonna buy food with faces from the game and stuff like that.
They're raising actual chocobos to cook them and serve.
Yeah, instead of a fried chicken sandwich, you get a fried chocobo.
I want a fried chocobo.
Yeah, well, I'll see if I can get you one. But again, it's going to be fully themed out. The drinks, the menu, everything. So if you happen to be in Tokyo or Japan, come in February. You can check out the Final Fantasy cafes.
You bump into somebody until you're forced to fight each other. Just a typical RPG.
All of a sudden, that sound hits.
It's like, why do I have this giant sword in my hand?
Exactly. A sword just appeared and I got pixelated. Oh, man.
All right.
Last but not least, at least on my end. I don't know if you have anything else. I
don't know. I got a pay-per-view coming on in a little while.
Yeah, it's true. But this is news that you actually brought up. This is about the Intellivision Amico.
Oh, yes.
So you want to talk about that for a
second? So finally got the email. So Intellivision Amico. I always say it wrong. Amigo. I don't know. So coming out October 10th, 2020. Intellivision is back in the home console. This is the original Intellivision company. Their console, we've talked about it once before. The idea of the console is going to be very budget friendly, very family friendly. As far as I remember, no game will be rated higher than E. The games, all digital, the games will be, I think, no more than $8, maybe $10 each. And every game supposedly on it is going to be exclusive for the Intellivision system.
Yep.
You'll be able to use your smartphone as a controller, all this jazz. So I finally got an email from Intellivision. I mean, I'm sure a bunch of us have, stating that the day before this drops, this episode drops. So we'll put something up, actually I already shared something, to be honest with you, on the Facebook page. The Founders Edition, the Intellivision Amica, whatever, Founders Edition. And this bad boy, Ant, I don't know if you have a picture up in front of you.
I'm looking at it.
This thing looks sweet.
It looks great if you still have that wood paneling in your home.
You have that old school 50-inch television that weighed about 3 tons.
Yes.
Well worth it.
Yeah, if you have the good old furniture television, as I used to
honestly, yeah. It was the cool.
It was. You don't remember your parents would decorate the top of it with stuff.
Oh, forget
And then
about
there'd be
it.
and then there'd be a pair of rabbit ears in the middle.
Yeah. That's, oh God, no, we had an antenna on the ceiling. On the ceiling. We had one facing down. On the roof, we had one.
On the
and
roof.
then it fell over, and then it was in the middle of those stairs I used to have on the outside of the house.
Oh yeah.
This house.
Okay. Nice.
They fell over. They were there for like a week. We had to duck under it and not touch it.
Nice.
One of the hurricanes blew it over. I think no, they took that down. So, and I think you have the stats in front of you. So yeah, it's a wood grain finish special edition, Founders Edition.
Special edition. It goes for $300.
Which, when you read off what it comes with, honestly, not a bad price.
Yep. Okay. So you get the
In my
vintage.
opinion.
Yeah, you get the vintage wood grain Amico console, hand numbered and signed by Intellivision CEO Tommy Tallarico.
I didn't know it was going to be signed. Oh man, even worth it even more.
Yes. You will get a $50 RFID golden ticket card allowing you to download games to the console. So $50 in game. $50
There
in
you
games.
go.
You get an exclusive Founders patch.
Oh, like they used to do. Atari used to put those out.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get an exclusive Founders pin.
I love my pins.
You get an exclusive lenticular poster signed by the Amico team.
I'm in.
Which
It's
is
like
cool.
one of those shiny posters, I
Yeah.
think.
You get physical CDs and digital downloads of the Earthworm Jim anthology album and Tommy Tallarico Greatest Hits Volume 2.
I think I may have that because he did the Video Games Live albums.
Oh, yeah.
And I did the Kickstarter, which actually I think I got a weird email. I think I'm getting all my physical stuff coming in on that.
Yeah.
But his music is great. And that's right. The original Earthworm Jim team is making a new Earthworm Jim game exclusive for the Intellivision.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you'll be happy to hear, you will get early delivery of the Intellivision Amico a few days before the official launch. So you'll get to play it first.
I've heard that before.
We've heard that a lot.
So,
but Intellivision seems to have that under control. Pre-orders go on sale this Monday, which would be yesterday. Now, these are going to be limited numbers, and ironically, they are making 2,600 of them. Where have I heard that number before?
Which means I'll be 2601.
Probably.
Now,
I don't think so because limited run's not doing the sale.
Screw them. So here's the thing: if you want the wood grain finish, they are still going to sell the wood grain finish system on its own.
Correct.
Later on, because there's going to be I think it's 8 different colors. But this is again the Founders Edition, so this is something totally different.
I have a feeling it's going to be the only one that's wood grain, and it's got the rest of the console is gold.
Oh, okay. Maybe the trim is going to be.
Trim is going to be gold.
Gotcha.
And then the Amico the release date, the official release date for the Intellivision Amico is 10/10/20.
Yes, that's easy enough to remember.
October 10th, 2020.
There you go. Good. The wood grain Amigo will match my wood grain Atari VCS.
Well, there you go. See, it'll be fantastic.
2 systems. I hopefully get on time.
Well, we'll see what happens. Who knows? We don't know anything. Polymega has thrown us off completely.
Because they are working wonderfully on their system. I've been DMing them a lot, and we want to get beta tested. So remember, all good stuff on Polymega, which we have always talked good about Polymega.
No, we always have. And, like I said, I've seen it in person, and I was very impressed. So I'm very hopeful.
Yes. All right, cool. So looking forward to the Intellivision.
Yeah, I think that wraps up the news unless you have anything else.
I think the only other thing to mention, because you did mention the sorry excuse for a company called Limited Run, in my opinion. I believe the original Star Wars games that they were releasing, Star Wars on the NES and on Game Boy, which they're putting in the old school blister packs like the figures used to come in.
Yes.
Buddy of mine ordered a couple of them. I'm buying it off of him because, again, I'd rather give him the money than television. I'll give all my money to. It's at a limited run. So I think that shipment, he's getting that soon. So I'm going to be getting my hands on that. And when I do, a friend of mine, Peter from work, I may actually head over to his place because he's got a really good collection of video games. He's very into having to mod out the systems to get them to look pixel perfect. And, he gets all he just got a Neo Geo EverDrive
Oh, wow.
Where you can play all the Neo Geo games and Neo Geo CD, but they're on an original Neo Geo. Well, not an original, but they're on a Neo Geo cart.
That's
I
cool.
saw the price, and it's a Neo Geo cart. But then you can play all the games on the original. So that's how he's very into all this. So hopefully one day I'll be able to get over there, do a little thing with him, show off what he's got, and pretty much take it from there. So I will let you know as soon as I get him. I will show those bad boys off.
All right, yeah, you show off the games from a company that you don't like.
I'm showing more games that I bought from a friend of mine.
Okay, fair enough. By the way, how's the pre-order for that Jay and Silent Bob game you got?
It's funny you say that. I emailed them. So I emailed the company, not Limited Run, because I didn't order it through Limited Run. Okay, so again, to back up real quick, Jay and Silent Bob have a game, Chronic Blunt Punch. That's coming out soon. It was kind of not a Kickstarter, but something like that. But then they also put out like this 8-bit retro game called Jay and Silent Bob's Mall Brawl. And they were putting them on limited edition NES carts, a gray one, a yellow one, and a green one. I was getting an old school gray. So I ordered from the Jay and Silent Bob game website. Ultimately, it's going to be sold through Limited Run. But I was charged, but the game hasn't shipped yet. But from what I understand, the Limited Run orders haven't shipped yet either.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of what. But at the same time, I ordered them. I emailed the guy like a week ago, and I haven't gotten a response. So that's another concern I have. But that's for another day.
All right. Well, enjoy that lawsuit.
I got till February to put in a claim with PayPal just in case.
Well, there you go. Enjoy that.
I will.
I think with that we're done.
I think that's it. Worlds Collide pre-show is on, so I'm gonna get ready to watch that.
All right, and I am not going to watch that.
Oh, it should be good. Mia Yim and
I'm sure it will be, but you know what? I have some video games to beat.
Whatever. Here I am with no games in front of me.
Yeah, so by the time this wrestling weekend is done, I have a feeling I may have a list of games on my completion.
Dang it. At least I have one. At least I'm in the lead right now. I'll take it.
Yes.
So, folks, remember, you can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube at Retro Gamers Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Retro Gamers Pod. Like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, subscribe, whatever these terminologies are called. And on YouTube, remember, hit that bell button so you know whenever we're getting a new episode up or a new clip, you'll be the first to know.
Yay.
Where else can they contact us?
Oh, I don't know. They can email us if they want to.
Please do. We have it. Use it.
You can email us at email@theretrogamers.com. I don't know what else we have. You covered everything else.
I sure did. And with that, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to bring this into port. And good luck in your gaming. I feel like we should start Monday, but whatever.
Yeah,
you know what? Let's not start Monday.
No. I mean, considering the fact that this episode drops on Tuesday, I am already in the lead.
We will see. And with that, folks, we will catch you right here next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.